Hey everyone, welcome to this masterclass on IELTS Listening. In this course, we're going to be looking at how to get a band 7 or higher on your listening test. And we're going to be breaking down everything step by step, and we're going to be taking a journey in our mastership. And you may be familiar with this if you have taken any of our other courses. If not, you're going to soon become familiar with our mastership. So I want to welcome you aboard onto our ship, because in this ship, we're going to be taking a very special journey in order to make sure that you get a band 7 or higher on your test. So here is our map, and this here is our mastership. And this is the flag or the destination where we're trying to get to. And in order to get here, we're going to be taking this marvelous journey. And in this journey, we're going to be covering many different topics in order to make sure that you are successful in your exam. So, we're going to begin this journey by first talking about the fundamentals. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the most basic information that you need to know in order to perform well on your listening test. So in this video, I'm really just going to be laying down the groundwork for all the rest of the lessons that you're going to find in this course. Once we talk about the fundamentals, we're next going to look at the different types of questions that you can expect to see on the test. There are different types of questions such as fill in the blanks, multiple choice, diagram questions, map questions, and so on. So we're going to look at those. Next, I'm going to share with you the strategies and the tactics that you need in order to succeed. Now, this is not a simple test where you're just expected to listen to an audio tape and answer the questions. If you want to get a good score, you will have to be strategic in the way you think and in the way that you plan for your exam. So we're going to share exactly how to do that. We're also going to be looking at how to avoid the common tricks and traps, because the examiners are often going to try to trick you by giving you the wrong answer choices or by hiding the correct answers in synonym language. So there are many different tricks and traps that they're going to use, and I'm going to break down each one of them to make sure that you don't fall for them. Next, we're going to start looking at how to answer each of the different sections of the listening test. We're going to begin by first looking at how to answer section number 1. So I'm going to be going through some sample questions, and we'll be going over the strategies that we discussed in the previous video. We're going to be using those strategies in order to look at how to answer section number 1 in an effective way. Then, once I've shown you how to answer these sample questions, we're then going to look at some practice questions. So I'm going to be answering the questions for you in real time so that you can see how to answer the questions for section number 1. And this is going to be an exercise that you get to do along with me. So we're going to be taking this journey together. So when we're looking at these practice questions, we're going to be answering these questions together. And then once we have answered these questions, I'm going to be breaking down the reason for why we chose certain answers. I'm also going to be breaking down the tricks and the traps that the examiners used in the test so that you don't fall for those tricks. Next, we're going to look at how to answer section number 2. So again, I'm going to take you through some sample questions. We're going to look at how to answer section number 2, and then again, similar to section number 1, here, we're going to also do the same thing. We're going to look at practice questions. You and I are going to together do practice questions, and we're going to be answering them together. And once we've answered these questions, then I'm going to be breaking down the correct answers and the strategies and the tricks and traps that they used for those practice questions. Then I'm going to show you how to answer the map questions as well as how to answer the diagram questions. These are two question types that are almost always seen in section number 2. So we're going to be covering these questions here while we're talking about section number 2. Then we're going to move on to how to answer the questions for section number 3. Again, I'm going to show you some sample questions. We're then going to do some practice questions together, and then I'm going to be breaking down the correct answers. I'm going to repeat the same thing for section number 4, and we'll look at exactly how to answer section number 4 along with practice questions and breakdown. Finally, at the end of this course, I'm going to leave you with some final tips for your success to make sure that you get the band 7 or higher that you're aiming for. Alright, now I want to talk about my experience. So I want to share with you a little bit about myself. And guys, if you're enrolled in any of our other IELTS courses, then you can skip the rest of this video because this is information that I have already mentioned in my other courses. So here I'm going to be talking about myself, my experience, and I'm going to be talking about what to expect from the IELTS exam, generally speaking, and I'm going to be explaining to you the structure of the exam, and I'll be giving you a little bit of important background information. But if you have already enrolled in one of our other courses, then you can go ahead and skip the rest of this video because it is information that you will probably already know. So if you haven't enrolled in any of our other courses, then continue watching, and I'd like to begin with a little introduction about myself. So hi, my name is Shay, and in this course, I'm going to be your IELTS instructor and also the captain of our ship. That's my hat right there. So far, I've had over 8 years of IELTS teaching experience. I'm also a certified CELTA English instructor. At my university, I did my degree in communication and language, and so far, I've taught in 11 countries around the world. I've helped many students to score a band 7 or above, and I hope to be able to do the same for you. If you'd like, you can read our testimonials at the given link. And if at any point you have any questions, feel free to contact me at IELTS@mastership.co. So now let's talk about what is the IELTS. Well, it's a test of your English proficiency. And what it stands for is International English Language Testing System. There are two main types of IELTS. There's the academic IELTS. This type of IELTS is mainly used by colleges and universities for students who want to study abroad in an English-speaking country. General IELTS, on the other hand, is mainly used by employers for people who want to work abroad. I suggest that you contact your university or your employer to make sure that you're taking the correct IELTS. So who makes the IELTS? Actually, it's jointly owned by 3 separate agencies that are listed here. As you can see, Cambridge English is one of the agencies that are actually creating the IELTS exam. And for this reason, I highly suggest that you get the Cambridge English books. This over here is an image of what the Cambridge English books look like. The exam papers in these books are very authentic and look just like the real exam. Also, since IELTS is a paper-based test, I recommend that you practice doing the exam on paper. How can you take the IELTS? Well, first you have to register. You can do so by using the provided link. Next, you have to select which date you want to take the test in. Testing dates are available each month, so you shouldn't have a problem finding a date that works for you. Keep in mind, however, that in some testing centers, you may need to register 2 weeks ahead of time. Next, select the date, the time, and the location for your test. Fill out the application and pay the fee. At the moment, it costs about $200 US. Once you've done that, provide them with a copy of your passport, and that should complete your IELTS application. Let us now go over the exam overview. Firstly, The IELTS takes about 2 hours and 45 minutes to finish, and it has 4 parts: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Each part has equal scoring. The exam is divided into 2 major sections. The first section is the paper exam. This includes 3 sections: the listening, reading, and writing, and all 3 of these sections must be finished in one single session. The other part is the speaking exam. The speaking test can be scheduled separately, so if you don't want to, you don't have to take it on the same day. You can schedule it on some other day. Lastly, keep in mind that this is an English test. Some of my students feel that they may not perform as well on the test because they don't have any prior knowledge about other subjects. But actually, you don't need any specialized background knowledge on any other subject other than English. There are no breaks in between the tests, so you won't have any bathroom breaks or lunch breaks. So it's important that you develop your stamina at home by taking full-length practice tests. Again, it is a paper-based exam, so your handwriting and spelling are very important. If your handwriting is unclear or illegible, then you're going to lose points for that. On the other hand, if you spell words wrong, you're also going to lose points for that. Let us now break down the different sections and the timing of the IELTS exam. The first part is listening, in which you have 4 sections and a total of 40 questions. You will have 30 minutes to finish the listening part. Next is the reading section, in which you will have 3 reading passages with 40 questions total, which you have to finish in 60 minutes. Then you're going to move to the writing section, in which you will have 2 tasks, the writing task 1 and the writing task 2. You will have a total of 60 minutes to finish both tasks. Lastly, you have the speaking part, which will last a total of about 11 to 14 minutes in length. This brings the total test time up to 2 hours and 44 minutes. Let us now talk about the answer sheet. You will have 2 different types of answer sheets. On the left-hand side, we have the answer sheet for the reading and listening. On the right-hand side, we have the answer sheet for the writing part. So when you're writing your answers for task 1 and task 2, you're going to have a sheet like this. And if you need extra paper, then you can ask your examiner. So that concludes this video. And in the next video, we're going to look at the fundamentals for the listening test.